So Watch Mojo goes over 20 actors who left for a shocking reason? Huh. Well, let's, yeah.
Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks. I am not trying to rob you.
Welcome to Watch Mojo,
Damn.
and today we're counting down our picks for the most outrageous incidents of an actor exiting a film production for whatever reason.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Number 20, Terrence Howard, Iron Man 2. The
Oh.
film that launched the epic Marvel
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe, 2008's Iron Man, was a smash hit with fans. With Robert Downey Jr. in the lead role of Tony Stark, his BFF James Rhodes was played by Terrence Howard, who was reportedly the movie's highest paid actor. But before Howard could fulfill his on-screen promise of wearing the War Machine armor, he was dropped in favor of Don Cheadle for the 2010 sequel.
Hey, buddy. Didn't expect to see you here.
Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on.
According to reports, the filmmakers were disappointed by Howard's performance and his difficult behavior on set. He was offered a reduced role with up to an 80% wage decrease for the sequel.
Oh,
Howard turned
hell
it down,
no.
believing his
Yeah.
money ended up covering some of Downey's increased payday.
Next time, baby.
Number 19, Armie Hammer, Shotgun Wedding. At one point, Armie Hammer looked like the next breakout A-lister in Hollywood, with several critically acclaimed films in his credits.
Does this make you happy? You're not gonna get a nosebleed on me, are you?
In 2020, he was cast in 2022's Shotgun Wedding alongside Jennifer Lopez. Then, in 2021, Hammer's career came crashing down with allegations of abusive behavior and assaults to partners, as well as his desire to partake in consuming humans. Yikes. Immediately, many film productions distanced themselves from him. Hammer dropped out of Shotgun Wedding, stating he couldn't leave his family during the scandal to spend 4 months in the Dominican Republic. The role of Tom Fowler was then given to Josh Duhamel, who emailed Hammer to offer his support.
How do you feel? I feel horrible. But excited.
Number 18, Charlie Hunnam, 50 Shades of Grey.
Are you planning on going full frontal or using a double body double?
Never body doubles.
No?
Never.
Not long after the 50 Shades of Grey novel was released, loads of celebs were seen with the book. Unsurprisingly, with that publicity, a film was a foregone conclusion. In 2013, it was announced the 2 main roles will be played by Dakota Johnson and Charlie Hunnam. However, a month later, he dropped out, and the part was given to Jamie Dornan. The reason for the change was originally believed to be a scheduling issue. In a sense, that was true, but in 2014, Hunnam explained it further. He said his work schedule was so packed due to balancing Sons of Anarchy alongside shooting Crimson Peak that he experienced a nervous breakdown when considering adding 50 Shades and had to withdraw.
Do you ever regret giving that up?
You know, I find the decision-making process in life in general, but particularly with my work, extremely difficult.
Number 17, Billy Idol, The Doors, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. After establishing himself in the music world, Idol was going to branch out with 2 massive film roles. However, in 1990, he crashed his motorbike, sustaining a severely broken leg and arm.
Singer Billy Idol was seriously injured in a motorcycle accident in Los Angeles early yesterday morning when the Harley he was driving collided with another vehicle.
Idol
I miss the days when MTV was actually relevant. Fuck you, Viacom. Fuck you.
was in surgery for 7 hours to repair the damage. Though he recovered, the musician could no longer play the film roles he signed up for. Idol stated he was meant to play Tom Baker in The Doors. However, Michael Madsen was handed the role, while Idol was given the vastly reduced part of Cat.
Pour me my breakfast, Dolores.
You know what? That's better.
What's the matter with Jimbo? Can't handle it, eh?
For Terminator 2 Judgment Day, he was going to be the T-1000. Since Idol could barely walk, let alone chase after Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robert Patrick was magnificently cast instead. Number 16, Will Smith, The Matrix. In an alternate reality...
This one has been beaten to death so many times when the story started circulating. Now, if memory serves, Will was originally given the script and offered to play the part of Neo, but turned it down because he thought that The Matrix wasn't going to do well. Foot meet mouth.
This is an Earth where Keanu Reeves didn't wear Neo's black trench coat for 1999's The Matrix, but the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air star did.
Free your mind.
Whoa.
As explained by the actor on his YouTube channel, Smith met with the Wachowskis who pitched the part to him. The Wachowskis focused their pitch on the action sequences, where Neo freezes in midair instead of the story or character development. Because of this approach, the actor didn't really understand what The Matrix was. In addition, the siblings were still relatively new as directors of feature films. After consideration, he rejected The Matrix and took on Wild Wild West instead, a decision he may have regretted.
I probably would have messed The Matrix up. I would have ruined it. So I did Jaw a favor.
Number 15, Megan Fox, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Filmmaker Michael Bay and Fox have a long, turbulent relationship, which includes her leading roles in the Transformers franchise. Initially, all seemed well, even if Bay couldn't stop his male gaze whenever Fox was on screen. However, in 2009, Fox gave an interview discussing the difficulty of working on set for the director and compared him to Adolf Hitler.
His solution to that problem was to then have me dancing underneath a waterfall getting soaking wet.
As such, she was effectively replaced with Rosie Huntington-Whiteley for the third installment, Transformers: Dark of the Moon. As for what happened, it depends on who you ask. Fox claims she left, while Bay stated producer Steven Spielberg told him to replace her, which Spielberg denied. Mysterious.
What is that?
This is your new lucky bunny.
Number 14, Will Ferrell, Reagan.
These are my woods. And this is my gun.
A movie about a nation's leader struggling to cope with a degenerative disease sounds like a piece that could be discussed and celebrated in film classes. However, what if instead of being a gritty drama, it was played as a comedy? Well, that was the plan for the film Reagan when news broke about it in 2016.
This is news to me. No wonder it said canceled.
It would focus on Ronald Reagan, played by Will Ferrell, suffering from dementia during his second term as US president. Upon announcement of the project, the Reagan family expressed its outrage, as did some associates of Reagan and some members of the media. 2 days after Ferrell's casting announcement, he pulled out of the project, and it vanished into obscurity.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Number 13, Harvey Keitel, Apocalypse Now.
I'm Winston Wolfe. I solve problems.
Good, we got one.
So I heard. May I come in?
Considering the amount of setbacks and damage to the crew and cast's physical and mental health, it's amazing that Apocalypse Now was finished, let alone became such an acclaimed film. Before Martin Sheen donned the war paint of Captain Willard, Harvey Keitel was handed the role and given a 7-year contract. Yet, days into filming, director Francis Ford Coppola was unhappy with Keitel's portrayal, as he reportedly found him too intense. Coppola offered Sheen the role, and when he accepted, Keitel was out. However, the actor wasn't removed from the final cut completely, according to editor Walter Murch. During one of the scenes showing a boat turning in the water, Keitel can be seen on the vessel.
Apocalypse Now was not a bump. It was an experience. And a valuable experience.
Number 12, Shia LaBeouf, Don't Worry, Darling. Few recent films have had reports of a director clashing with their main cast as 2022's Don't Worry, Darling.
Alice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Olivia Wilde directed, as well as starred and produced the film, and as director, she allegedly had a few conflicts with Florence Pugh. She also had to contend with Shia LaBeouf, who eventually left the production. The cause was originally claimed to be a scheduling conflict, but then things got confusing. Wilde later stated that LaBeouf's combative energy with fellow actors and crew, along with the fact that he made Pugh uncomfortable, caused her to fire him. However, he responded that he quit due to the lack of rehearsal.
You and I both know I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse. Anybody got the receipts to that? Anyone?
LaBeouf later showed apparent messages from Wilde that begged him to return, which the director denied.
So just to be clear here, did you fire Shia LaBeouf?
We had to replace Shia.
Number 11, Eric Stoltz, Back to the Future. Today, it's impossible to imagine anyone other than Michael J. Fox wearing the iconic red body warmer of Marty McFly in 1985's Back to the Future. Yet, that nearly happened. Eric Stoltz was cast as McFly, but several weeks into filming, director Robert Zemeckis saw a problem. Reportedly, the actor was too intense and wasn't capturing the comedic tone that was needed. Stoltz also implemented a method acting technique, allegedly bruising Biff's actor Thomas F. Wilson in a scene. The filmmakers approached Fox, who agreed to take the role.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet.
When Fox became available, Zemeckis informed Stoltz of his firing. This casting change caused 34 days of filming to be torn up, yet Fox captured the comedy essence and saved the franchise.
He's a magnificent actor, but his comedy sensibilities were very different than what I had written with Bob, and he and I just never were able to make that work.
Number 10, James Remar, Aliens.
Come on, quit playing around. You don't want to play around with me. Let me out of this thing!
James Remar, best known for his portrayal of Ajax in the cult classic The Warriors, and for playing Dexter's father Harry Morgan on Dexter, was director James Cameron's first choice to play Corporal Dwayne Hicks in the sequel to 1979's Alien. However, a couple of weeks into production, he was replaced by Michael Biehn. For years, the reason for the change was chalked up to creative differences, but the truth turned out to be much more shocking. Remar was dealing with a fairly serious drug problem when he was cast as Hicks, and was ultimately fired from the production after being arrested for drug possession, although some shots of him remain in the film.
Son, there are people out there who do really bad things. Terrible people. And the police can't catch them all.
Number 9, Ed Skrein, Hellboy. In the wake of whitewashing complaints, actor Ed Skrein, who you'll recognize as the baddie from 2016's Deadpool, dropped out of the planned 2019 Hellboy reboot.
No, I'm gonna shut you in again, Wade. Not because I need to. Because I want to.
Whitewashing is the infamous Hollywood practice that involves the casting of white actors in the roles of historically non-white characters. Skrein had been cast as Ben Daimyo, who the graphic novel the film is based on describes as being of Japanese-American descent.
And there's someone I want to introduce you to, okay? Major Ben Daimyo, head of special ops for M11.
M11?
My son, huh?
I thought you guys disbanded after the war.
And I thought we were supposed to be fighting monsters, not working with them.
Skrein's decision to leave the film was widely praised, and his replacement, Korean-American actor Daniel Dae Kim, lauded him for the move. Number 8, Ryan Gosling, The Lovely Bones. In yet another instance of an actor being fired only to claim he left over creative differences with the director, the truth behind Ryan Gosling's departure from The Lovely Bones is far more intriguing than what was originally reported. Gosling, who'd been cast in the role of Jack Salmon, which later went to Mark Wahlberg, showed up on set bearded and 60 pounds overweight, two physical transformations he had not discussed with director Peter Jackson.
You're expecting an angel and you get Nixon.
Exactly.
Jackson was understandably perturbed by the sudden change in his lead actor's appearance and fired him. Gosling would claim that he was too young for the part, but the truth, as it's been known to do, eventually came out.
Okay, you can hire us, but we're not cheap. This is very intensive work, and for something like this, I'd say couldn't do it for less than $5,000.
Number 7, Kel O'Neill, There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood is the story of a ruthless oil tycoon who clashes with a local pastor during Southern California's turn-of-the-century oil boom. Kel O'Neill had originally been cast in the role of the pastor, but left amid reports that lead actor Daniel Day-Lewis's style was too much for him to handle. Day-Lewis, of course, is notorious for staying in character regardless of whether or not the cameras are rolling.
I am the third revelation. I am the third revelation.
While both Day-Lewis and director Paul Thomas Anderson have denied these claims, it's not hard to imagine O'Neill being thrown off his game when he realized his co-star had decided to live as the man who relished berating the character he was portraying.
Swear to God, we don't know about any money. Me and Chucky just going to get fake ID.
Number 6, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Predator. Before he was an internationally recognized action star, Jean-Claude Van Damme was just a young Belgian actor trying to make it in Hollywood.
You hold this. If I can grab it before you close your hand, I get the girl.
His career appeared to be heading in the right direction when he was cast as the titular bad guy in 1987's Predator. Unfortunately, JCVD didn't see eye to eye with director John McTiernan when it came to his character's costume, among other things. Van Damme felt that the cloaking costume made him look silly, unaware that it would be edited out by the visual effects team in post-production. 2 days into shooting, Van Damme dropped out and was replaced by Kevin Peter Hall, who donned a significantly redesigned costume.
What the hell are you?
Number 5, Sean Connery, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. A staple on pretty much every list of actors who turned down iconic movie roles, Sean Connery's decision to turn down the role of Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings trilogy is a serious head-scratcher. The Academy Award winner reportedly declined Peter Jackson's offer to play the bearded wizard because when it came to the script, he never understood it.
What does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out.
You know who did understand it? Ian McKellen. The worst part is that had Connery taken the role, he would have been owed 15% of the trilogy's worldwide box office receipts, a number that would have amounted to over $400 million. That's a lot of money, Mr. Bond.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Number 4. James Purefoy, V for Vendetta. British actor James Purefoy was director James McTeague's first choice to play the mask-wearing vigilante known only as V in the 2005 dystopian thriller V for Vendetta.
Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
However, the role required him to wear a Guy Fawkes mask for the entirety of the shoot, which he claimed made it extremely difficult to act in. 6 weeks into filming, Purefoy decided that he had had enough.
I removed each one individually. You know how hard that is to do.
He quit the production and was replaced by Hugo Weaving. Seeing as how the character's mask is a major part of his identity, anyone who couldn't act beneath it clearly wasn't a good fit for the role. Weaving sure pulled it off, though. Number 3, Christian Bale, Steve Jobs.
Impressive. Very nice.
Huh.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
While you be...
Wait, hold up. Considering the lengths Christian Bale would go through for a role, I'm honestly kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked. But I don't know if he would be able to pull off Steve Jobs, but...
hard-pressed to argue against Michael Fassbender's portrayal of Apple co-founder Steve Jobs in Danny Boyle's 2015 biopic. He was nominated for an Oscar, after all. At one point in the film's development, the role belonged to someone else. Christian Bale was cast as Jobs in 2014, but relinquished the role shortly after. The story goes that Steve's widow, Laureen Jobs, called Bale and begged him not to do the film. While his official position is that he left due to conflicted feelings over the part, we think the pleas of Laureen Jobs has something to do with it.
Why do you want people to dislike you?
I don't want people to dislike me. I'm indifferent to whether they dislike me.
Number 2, Buddy Ebsen, The Wizard of Oz. He probably didn't know it at the time, but when he was cast as the Scarecrow in 1939's The Wizard of Oz, Buddy Ebsen was on the verge of becoming part of film history. Well, first he was asked to switch roles with Ray Bolger to play the Tin Man instead.
I'll see you reach the wizard, whether I get a heart or not. Beehive, bad. Let her try and make a beehive out of me.
Then, unfortunately, just 10 days into shooting, Ebsen was gone. It turned out that Ebsen was allergic to the aluminum powder makeup necessary to complete his transformation from man to Tin Man.
A couple of your friends are trying to stall it off as best they can, but there's no telling how long they'll be able to hold out.
Looks like my tour's over right now. How's the quickest way back?
Way I come, in the saddle.
The incident was actually pretty serious, as Ebsen was brought to the hospital in critical condition. Suffice it to say, he had to drop out.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell
That
to get
really
notified
sucks.
about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for
metal
occasional
contact
videos or
allergy
all
like
of
that?
them. If you're
Yeah,
on your
that's no
phone,
joke.
make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Kevin Spacey, All the Money in the World.
One heartbeat away from the presidency, not a single vote cast in my name. Democracy is so overrated.
2017 was the year of the Hollywood sex scandal, and Kevin Spacey was one of the celebrities who lost the most after he was accused of assaulting a 14-year-old Anthony Rapp in 1986. Within 2 weeks of Rapp coming forward, Spacey had not only been accused by others, Netflix also dropped him from both House of Cards and a Gore Vidal biopic he was set to star in. Perhaps even more shocking was the fact that Spacey was completely removed from All the Money in the World and replaced by Christopher Plummer about a month before its release.
Dirty and old, I have no problem with. In fact, I have an affection for them, as they are the words most frequently used to describe me.
Recasting actors during production is one thing. Swapping them out so close to the release date is pretty much unprecedented. Which acting castings that nearly happened do you wish did? Cillian Murphy as Batman? Brad Pitt as Jason Bourne? Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone in Face Off? Or something else? Let us know below.
Asking the real questions here.
But the truth